You're too old to do push-ups? No, you're not. And I'm gonna prove that to you today. You can absolutely do tons of push-ups after 50 years old at home. You just gotta figure out your pain-free path. Mohidi Adav 6172 asked me to do a series of videos on body weight strength training at home when everything hurts. Well, as men over 50, we've beaten the hell out of ourselves for a bunch of decades, so we all got pain, but it doesn't mean we don't have to strength train anymore. All we need to do is find our pain-free path. And we're gonna go over that with push-ups today. This is mission number 1 out of 7 missions in the Grow or Die series. It's called Do X for strength training, because strength is the foundation of everything for a man over 50 as we grow into our second 50 years instead of fade on out. So stick with me here. I'm gonna show you how to do pain-free push-ups. But before we fix our body, we have to fix our thinking first. In wrestling as a coach, we always tell our kids, control his head, because we know as a coach, if you can control your opponent's head, then you're gonna control their whole body because they're attached. Wherever your opponent's head is gonna go, their body's gonna follow. And you know, some years ago, I was like, wow, what an epiphany in life. You know, wherever your head goes, your body follows. So we need to fix our thinking before our body is gonna do a lot of change. And the first thing we need to change is not focusing on what we can't do and focusing now on what we can do. I know a lot of even physical therapists who are still comparing themselves to what they used to do in their 20s and their 30s, and now that they can't do that anymore, they don't do anything because they feel bad that they can't do what they used to do. That makes them fade out faster. Nothing makes a man fade in his 50 years, second 50 years, than when he doesn't do strength training. Even a lot of coaches are quick to tell me what they can't do on the mat or in the gym anymore. But when I ask them, what can you do? They look at me like I'm speaking a different language. If you can't run, walk, right? If you can't do full push-ups, do different push-ups. If you can't do body weight exercises, do assisted body weight exercises. Whatever you can do is what we need to focus on. That's gonna get you back on the journey of growing into your second 50 years. All right, the 3 things we're gonna focus on when we're getting back to push-ups are our hand position, the width, and making sure they're below our shoulders when we place them. The second is our elbow angle. We don't want our elbows way up out to the side like a propeller plane. We want them down like a jet plane position. And the last one we're most interested in is what our shoulder blades are doing. We want to make sure our shoulder blades are down and back. I like to call sliding our scaps into our back pocket. So we're making sure our shoulder blades are back. We're going to start with the wall. Phase 1, wall. Stepping right away from the wall, starting straight, adjusting your hands and your elbows and your shoulder blades to find the pain-free path going down into the wall for your push-up. This is really important to make sure you don't feel pain here, because eventually we're going to be loading this with more gravity. Once you feel good here, hold it. See if you can keep this position for about 30 seconds before you start to add phase 3 of pushing back out again. Once you can do all of that pain-free, start banging out your wall push-ups. Keeping that pain-free path. The second pain starts to come back in, adjust your hands, adjust your elbows, and adjust your shoulder blades. Phase 2, counter push-ups. Now we're leaning forward more, gravity's getting more involved, and it's gonna start to get more difficult, but nothing's changing. Finding our hand position, elbow angle, and how our shoulder blades should be down and back in our back pockets. So we're gonna start with our feet away from the counter, start with that slow descent, finding that pain-free path. Once you get that, start to hold this for about 30 seconds, keeping it pain-free, then start to slowly come back out and start banging out slow reps, adjusting your hand placement, your elbow angle, and making sure your shoulder blades are down and back. If at any time you feel that pain is coming back and you can't adjust out of it with your angles, go back to the wall. You don't need to rush this. Your body might need to adapt a little bit. Knee push-ups. Now we're adding in more gravity from the counter. Some people used to call this girl push-ups, and man, that name really pisses me off because I know a lot of girl wrestlers who can bang out tons of regular push-ups, and I know good men who need to do knee push-ups because they've trashed their shoulders over the last decades. So we're gonna key in on our same hand width, elbow angle, and scaps down into the back pockets, and we're gonna find that pain-free path again going on down. If you need to drop down and readjust to come back up, go right ahead. Once you can find that pain-free path, hold it for about 30 seconds. Once that feels good, start slowly banging out reps. And work with this one for a while until it really feels pain-free. All right, now we're going to step 4, the full push-up. Nothing else changes except we're starting up on our toes, body completely flat, making sure our shoulder blades are down in our back pockets. And here we go. We just descend. Once that feels good, we're gonna hold it. This is hard, man. Holding this position is not easy. And then once we find our pain-free path here, then we start slowly banging out reps. Really keying in on your elbow angle and what your shoulders are doing after you found that good hand position is what's gonna keep your push-ups pain-free. All right, added bonus, let's look at resistance. Body weight resistance exercises. 2 ways to really go about it. One is with a weighted vest. They also come adjustable. I love my weighted vest. You slide sandbags in and out of here, just like so. This is 0 to 40 pound adjustability, which I love. I can do weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, weighted push-ups with these. Great investment for a home gym. Ugh. What we can also do is get bands. I love resisted bands because it starts to take you through needing less and less resistance or assistance as time goes on. So we're gonna start just with the easy band to make my life easy for a push-up. We're gonna hook it over your thumbs, bring it back around your shoulders, actually this way. And this is a great way to start adding on resistance to your push-ups. These band packets can get really thick and you can go a long way with these. Next video, we're gonna do pull-ups and we're gonna use these bands as assistance instead of resistance. So for the next video, get your pull-up bar, get a set of resistance bands, and we're gonna hit pull-ups next. Guys, this video really isn't about push-ups. It's about men over 50 changing their mindset to grow into their second 50 years instead of fade away like I see all the time as a physical therapist. Your second 50 years can be the best, most powerful, most confident years of your life, and it starts with strength training. So stick around this channel because there are 7 missions we're gonna keep going through to make you the most dominant and happy man in your second 50 years of your entire life. And if you wanna know a little bit more about pain, in my book, Grow or Die on Amazon, there's a whole section in the back, it's an addendum on pain that you can look at that talks about when pain is okay and when it's not okay for strength training in your second 50 years. So stick around, we're gonna keep going. And always remember, most men fade, you're not most men.